We welcome you to the first semifinal here in Season 2 of Major League Table Tennis, America's first pro table tennis league. I'm your host, Evan Lepler. Some of the best players from all around the world have competed in MLTT's 7-month regular season, which began last September. Now the best 4 squads descend upon Philadelphia for their shot at the hallowed MLTT Cup, their claim to MLTT's $50,000 prize pool, and their spot in American professional sports history. This could be the start of a ping-pong dynasty after the Texas Smash took the title in Season 1. But in their way today, the Chicago Wind, making their first semifinal appearance with a heck of a lot to prove. The Smash and the Wind will play 4 singles matches and 1 doubles match in today's semifinal bout. Then scores will be tallied before the Golden Game, MLTT's all-out full squad sprint to 21 points. The winner of that grand finale advances to the MLTT Championship match. Chicago's number 2 overall pick Manu Leverson and Texas's Amir Hodai will start us off. I'm joined on the call by former New Zealand national champ Matt Hetherington and the U.S. Table Tennis Hall of Famer Sean O'Neill. Now let's take you to the sold-out crowd at St. Joseph's University for the start of MLTT Championship Weekend.
And a good start for Texas. Amir Hodai takes the opening point on Levison's serve. Reminder about the format. We got the 12 singles games and the 3 doubles games. That's 15 points up for grabs heading into the Golden. But unlike regular season play, it is all about who wins the Golden game. And unlike regular season play, it is possible for a team to have an 11-4 lead and start the Golden game up 7. But this is about creating a lead in the Golden game, and then it'll be about who can execute in the Golden game. And these 2 teams, one of the reasons they're here is they have been 2 of the best teams executing in clutch moments in Golden games all season long.
I think Texas have had a number of situations where they've been the maximum 5 points behind and have still managed to come back. But, you know, when you get into championship weekend, that focus really has to come back onto these first individual matches. Not having that 5-point cap there anymore. You know, you don't want to go into Golden game in the semifinals 9 points down or something.
Great return and an excellent celebration from Amir Hodai. Definitely looked sharp early.
And both players are going to have an opportunity to go for big shots off of the serves. They don't want to play it safe because it's going to allow the server to get that first attack. So look for some risky play from both teams.
I think that down the line play from Hodai is going to be really important. You know, getting Leverson off that step around forehand. We know Leverson loves to step around on the backhand side. So Amir did a great job of opening up the table and then taking Leverson back to the backhand.
Both these players were first-round draft picks before the Season 2 draft. Levison's 2nd overall. Texas taking Hodai 8th overall. They had the last pick in the first round because they won the Season 1 championship. I missed it. Not much sauce on that return, but it was short and it got Hodai off balance.
Yeah, Hodai, as he stepped in, opened up the face of his racket and just sent it long. Even up again here in game 1.
We're seeing a lot of points won by the returner so far, Matt. What does that say to you?
I think both of these players, while they are strong service players, they know that receive is the most important factor for them in this match. Just knowing how much firepower comes off the back of the serve. I mean, perfect example there, right? Your focus has to be on serve return. Right now, I think Leverson has a little bit of an edge in that department. We've seen Hodai pop up a few more serve returns.
That's a nifty angle from Hodai.
Perfect location to go for when you're a right-handed player playing out to a lefty. Wide to the forehand. Of course, Leverson can do the exact same thing when he steps around his backhand side. That wide forehand will be open.
Leverson playing a little bit more kind of restricted and limited on the backhand side.
We're back at the table in Philadelphia. Who will strike first for their team, Hodai or Leverson?
8-5 lead for Texas here in the opening game of the first singles match at championship weekend. York Bitsigao here in the flesh in season 2. He was coaching remotely when we were in Chicago for championship weekend last year, and that is ridiculous. Everything working right now for the Iranian.
Hodai just picked up the deep serve off the bounce, and again, going to the wide forehand, which is going to, as Matt said, put Leverson out of his comfort zone. He likes to step around the backhand, so that forehand is often no one at home.
Leverson has had his way in singles matches against Texas this season. He went 5-1 in games in 2 matches against Hodai. He also swept Kasahara 3-0, but he's in danger of dropping game 1 here.
Excellent choice to play that serve return with the backhand by Leverson. Side spin often will cut into the player. By jumping over to play a backhand, you can go with the spin, put a little bit more pressure on the return.
2 big serves here from Manu.
Actually hit the ball, contacted his face.
In great sportsmanship, Manu pointing it out. He can't believe it. Clipped the edge and then went up.
Rushed by the serve clock there. It was basically expiring as he began his service motion. Hodai missed the table, so Leverson stays alive. That's the first time we've seen a ball toss hit the server's face, or off his paddle. That was the previous point. All right, so it's 10 serving 8. Hodai has not exactly been automatic on his serve, but a bunch of chances here.
Quality opening loop by Leverson. That ball came off the end of the table, spun it up, nothing crazy, but just quality shot.
Oh, tough break for Hodai. And the first golden point of the weekend comes in the opening game of the first semifinal.
Spectators love that. Golden point already.
It's an awesome atmosphere here at St. Joe's. Leverson's got the serve at 10-all. Game 1 to Chicago. Leverson rallies back from 3 points down to get the win on the board first.
After impressive wins by Leverson in first singles, along with Alex Kazaku taking 2 points in the second singles match, Chicago is out to an early 4-2 lead. We rejoin the action now with the doubles, featuring the powerful Texas duo of Hiromitsu Kasahara and David Macbeth, facing off against Chicago's Manu Leverson and Jang.
you're going to be facing a righty-lefty pair with Leverson and Jang. Move very well. Leverson is going to be the quarterback, really calling the shots. Sean's going to be the receiver, running around trying to land big forehands and backhands.
And from the smash perspective, I think, even York Bitsugayo understood there was a chance that his team was down 4-2, maybe even 5-1 heading into the doubles. To be down 4-2, to have Macbeth and Kasahara in position, to have Kasahara playing 2 of the next 3 matches, doubles here and then singles later on. I have a feeling York feels pretty good about where his team's at right now, in particular with how excellent the smash have been coming from behind to win Golden Games. Macbeth catching an edge, and a 4-1 lead here over Leverson and Jang.
And Macbeth has really taken on a new role, being almost a doubles specialist, where he was playing so much singles in season 1.
Seems like Leverson is having some back and forth words with the umpire again. Not sure what that was for.
That's nicely done by Macbeth.
Just a double backhand attack starting with Kasahara. Look at this backhand flip, and then ball catches the net. Macbeth sends it out to the wide forehand.
What is it about the big Brits and their backhands? We've seen it from Pitchford and Macbeth.
I mean, typically a lot of the taller players are able to get more on top of the ball contact when they're playing topspin, so add a little bit more wrist rotation than some of their shorter counterparts.
Well, the first time these two teams met back in September, it was Kasahara and Nandan Naresh playing doubles against Leverson and Tom Feng. Leverson and Feng got a 3-0 sweep. Kasahara and Macbeth were paired together for the next 2 matchups, both against Leverson and Feng. Both were 2-1 wins for Texas. This is the first time that Macbeth and Kasahara are facing Leverson and Jang. Of course, we saw Sean Jang kind of thrusted into a more important position, playing singles and doubles and being in the AB slot the last weekend of the season when Leverson wasn't there. But these are 2 pretty talented players as well. And we talk about Kasahara and Macbeth being the favorites. Not like Leverson and Jang can't hold their own.
No,
for sure.
Not at all. And I think with the style matchups for the wind, Leverson is going to play a lot more positional and hope to set up Sean, because Sean will go for big shots from anywhere on the table. He's not known to be extremely careful, but likes to go for the counter attack and the first attack big time.
Well, I think, like I said, in the singles, I mean, you have Kasahara and Macbeth who have tremendous backhand flicks over the table with a lot of rest. Leverson tends to use a lot more forehand receive.
Ooh, that was a painful mistake right there. Just can't afford when you're trailing by 2 to serve into the net.
Not the first serve error from Leverson today. Good return from Kasahara.
And that's one of the reasons for the missed serve, is because you don't want that ball to go either too high or potentially too long with either Macbeth or Kasahara on the other side of the net, because they're going to jump right on top of it.
Ready to pounce. Jang unable to pounce on the Kasahara serve in return, and now 6 game points for Texas here in game 1 of the doubles. And it only takes 1. Convincing stuff from Kasahara and Macbeth. The veteran from Japan and the big man from Great Britain get the smash within 1. It's 4-3 Chicago.
Back at the table for an all-women's battle in the 3rd singles match. For Chicago, it's former U.S. World Junior Champion team member Tiffany Ka. For Texas, it's Microsoft product manager and MLTT veteran Angela Guan. Chicago owns the slight 6-5 lead after these 2 split the first 2 games. Now let's see who wins the rubber game and takes this pivotal point here in the semifinals.
the best point of the match so far.
Great job by Tiffany staying close to the table. So when Angela does throw in these top spins from the forehand side, she can actually jump on it and keep the pressure on. Evan, I was a little surprised at how offensive-minded Angela went on the final points of that last game. That's generally a sign, again, that the chopper has lost a little bit of confidence in the defense.
All 4 teams here at Championship Weekend will play tomorrow, but no one wants to be a part of that noon match. Competing for 3rd place. The 3 p.m. match is where everyone wants to be. That has been the goal all season long.
Not a good shot to smash. Angela kept the ball very low, kept quality spin on it. Tiffany would be better off just pushing that ball deep to the backhand than stepping around and having a full table to work with.
A 4-2 lead for Guan here in game 3. Worth mentioning, y'all, that both these teams have had fantastic seasons in close Golden games. Texas has been the best in the league, winning 9 of their 10 Golden games decided by 5 points or less. Chicago 3rd best in the league, still very good, 7-3. But Angela Guan is writing her own story right now.
Texas fans love that. It's interesting when Angela went in and took that towel break right next to her Texas bench. She all did get up and look to give some words of support, I think, or maybe some little advices.
I almost thought that it was a timeout because
Yeah,
both Jorg and the other
I was standing up.
smashers were definitely doing coaching, which is completely legal. During the matches, you do not have to wait until the timeouts or the end of game to offer tips.
As long as the flow is continuous of the game. Great rally here.
Again, this is going to favor Angela when these rallies go 15, 20 shots back and forth.
Cub didn't have a single chance to attack until the very end when she missed it.
But, you know, when you have to hit that many balls and the opportunity finally shows up, there's so much pressure on you to land that ball and to execute it well and to make sure that you win the point outright. And I think that it's a lot of pressure, and especially at this moment, maybe a little too much for Tiffany.
Yeah, Tiffany's just beginning to force it a little bit. You loop 2 balls and then you get a low one and then you kill that one.
Yeah, and then you lose confidence in what is your strongest shot in this matchup.
Angela's just totally worn her down.
Nice change up, love it.
But you see right now, Angela, although she's made a couple forehand attacks, much more confident with her defense, changing the spin, changing the depth of the ball, moving it around, never giving Tiffany a chance to play 2 balls from the same position. Again, just a forced forehand, not there. Even if it lands, Angela's right in the backhand corner.
I mean, she's just been a wall in this match. I don't really know what that serve return was. Just kind of floated the ball out towards the corner and went
Not sure
long.
if she saw Tiffany serve with the opposite side, little forehand hook serve with slight topspin. Angela was in between playing a chop and kind of a block. But right now, it's been all Angela Guan here in game 3.
And the more mistakes that she makes on those shots, it just erodes any confidence that she has.
I mean, it's going to put so much more pressure on Mr. Provost. What a finish.
What a performance from Angela Guan. Perhaps sending a message of about how she felt about not getting a chance to play this season. She was ready to go. A lot of speculation. Would she be prepared? I'd say the answer is a resounding you bet.
We're all tied up at 7 heading into the very last game in the 4th and final singles match. For Texas, it's Hiramitsu Kasahara. And for Chicago, team captain Damian Provost. They've split the first 2 points heading into the 3rd set. Which veteran player can lift their team into the lead heading into the Golden Game?
They are still tied. Because now you add 7 to each team with exactly 210. And the lead going into...
I mean, I'll be honest, Devin, I don't know if they care about the points anymore.
Well, it just goes to show you how balanced and even these 2 teams have been for the whole season. Oh, Provost on the floor as Kasahara sent him sprawling. What happened to Hiro Kasahara in game 2? To lose by 8 after a pretty splendid performance in game 1?
Fell into the vacuum. Provost slowed things down. That's where the unforced errors start to come in. You know, Kasahara not having anything to work with, not being in position, not having the pace that he's comfortable with. Kasahara is going to have to turn things around pretty early on in this game. And that's how he wants to play. He needs to be in a position where he's balanced and he's setting a quicker pace. This is where Damian Provost will struggle to keep up if he's at the mid-distance or a little bit further behind the table. Like you said in the beginning, Sean, but for Damian to match that speed, he has to be right up on the table and early in the bounce. And that's risky for Damian.
Oh, and there's a wonderful, again, it's just kind of a backhand topper. Nice block, but then here had a little bit more spin, but where is he going? Lefty, righty, out to the forehand. You're going to see that angle. Cuts the corner, goes outside the end line. And now, just stealing positional points with a lot of errors, but I'm going to credit Damian Provost of not making any unnecessary risky shots himself.
Timeout, Texas.
So the rally, the speed is too similar all the time. And this is what he likes. He likes boom, 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 same rhythm. If you can change the rhythm, say it. Huh? Or you can also serve for the front, change something. Because why not from there? Because now he can see the serve quite good and then he's making this mix up. Yeah. Okay, you can come back, you can come back.
Provost wiping up a little bit of perspiration on the floor. He's got a 5-2 lead here in game 3. That's just great reflexes, quick hands from Provost.
And he just starts right off of the serve, backhand flip. Now we're going into a quick off the bounce rally. Doesn't have to generate all the power himself, and he can use some timing to nullify Hiro's fast-paced shots. And there, again, a slow control opening. So he's the one, Coach Jorg Vitzigayo said, mix it up, don't give him the same pace. Well, this time, Provost is the one who's giving him a change of pace and is rewarded with a 5-point lead along with the serve. That could hit.
Quite, but it hung up there for a while. Curled toward the table on its way down. No chance of a ball hitting the ceiling here in this venue.
There's always a chance, Evan. It is a very high ceiling, but
I'm going to go 60
never
feet.
rule it out.
Enzo's ball toss is not going to find the ceiling today.
Okay, this is a point right here. Even with a 2-point lead in the serve, Provost has to make something happen.
Chicago with just the one timeout left. Sure, they'd love to save it for the Golden Game if they can.
I mean, given how important the Golden Game is, with the winner-takes-all format, yes.
Oh, that was a huge backhand block down the line.
Snap the 3-0 run from Kasahara. Provost back up by 3. 3 points away from what would be an upset win. Provost holds his own on his serve, and he's got the 4-point edge.
And more importantly, he stepped up to the table after that first backhand. Oh, Kasahara with a great step around. Just forced his forehand into this point.
Great change there. Played a couple of quick, he gets a lot of whip on his forehand. A couple of really quick forehands, and then one just a little spinnier, a little bit more topspin kick.
Will Provost go heavy on the offense or just try to play a safe style of rally?
Ooh, into the net, 9-8. Things are getting a little hairy here for Chicago. But an errant return sets up game point for Damian Provost to give the Wind the lead. Chicago has not lost a Golden Game all year, by the way, which they've had the lead at the start.
Look for Provost to try to drop this serve short and then start on the counterattack.
But Texas, by the way, has not been afraid of coming from behind in Golden Games. They've got 6 comebacks to win Golden Games in which they started from behind. That's by far the most in the league. Well, Kasahara continue the comeback here. And after all we've seen over the last couple of hours,
Locked in Kasahara.
it now comes down to this 1 point to determine who has the lead going into the Golden Game.
Provost with the serve. Will he fight for the first attack? Try to change it up.
Do you think he would go long down the line? I mean, is that risky?
I think it'd be a great surprise play if he has the courage to go for it.
Hero Kasahara gets it done for Texas. What a battle, what a fight, what a match. And the Smash have the 1 point lead heading into the Golden Game. All the drama we've seen so far, it counts for 1 point. The Golden Game will decide it, and it's next.
It's almost time for the Golden Game, the last and most thrilling battle to every MLTT match. But how does this grand finale work? Teams score 1 point for each victory to 11 that you've seen so far today. After some masterful play by Texas's Hiromitsu Kasahara, the Smash lead the Chicago Wind 8-7. And as a result, they'll carry a slim 1 point lead into this pressure-packed conclusion. Speaking of pressure, both coaches handpicked 5 players who rotate in for multiples of 4 points each. That means you'll see unique and strategic matchups, men versus women, Olympians versus Olympians, superstars versus substitutes, all with the stakes at their peak. The first team to 21 points, they'll be 1 step closer to the MLTT Cup and table tennis history. Now, let's join the action with Chicago's Damian Provost and Texas's David Macbeth on the table first. Buckle up, everybody. This is the Golden Game.
Angela Guan is going to have her hands full with Alex Kazaku, because we know Alex in the last weekend came up big playing against the female counterparts. A looper of his stature against a chopper. I think that's what Owens is hoping to possibly get 8 points out of, if possible, maybe a double sweep.
I mean,
right now Guan talking with Jorg, getting the coaching mouthful, but it was pretty stunning for me to have Jorg put Guan in the 2 spot.
okay, but I mean, and it's intentional, right? He's putting it out there as bait. You put Angela Guan out there, he has to know 100% that Eric Owens would put Kazaku against her.
And then he
Just
puts-
wondering if Artur on the flip side is.
That's 2 straight for Macbeth, and now a 3-0 Texas lead.
And this is where the experience of Macbeth takes 2 on the opponent's serve.
Oh my goodness, what? Wow! David Macbeth kept it alive. Provost unbelievably got a paddle on the return. One of the wilder points you'll ever see.
Trying to stifle a little smile there, I think.
The athleticism for Macbeth to not totally bulldoze the table in that situation. What a wild sequence. It's a mini golden sweep for Macbeth. 4-0 lead for Texas, and now Guan versus Kazaku.
0-4.
Kazaku has to be offensive, but he's got to be careful not to overdo it.
Chicago on the board here in the Golden game.
Look for Kazaku to serve it out deep. Kazaku knows exactly what he has to get done. Play 1 point at a time, get at least 1 big forehand in, and then make sure he's keeping it in play.
3 in a row for Alex. 1 point away from tying this thing up. Leverson and Hodai will be next. Kazaku with a golden sweep. It's 4-4, and here we go.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't want to say expected. I feel like Eric Owens was probably expecting that he would get 4 from this matchup. I mean, we saw Kazaku against Guan in Lawrenceville. Just no discomfort with that style at all. So I'm just wondering what the trade-off is, what the flip side of it looks like from the Texas Smash.
I think deep down, Eric knows, as Chicago takes the lead for the first time, that there's a good chance that Kazaku and Guan play 8 points, but Ka and Abusev may only play 4 or 5 or 6.
Very well put, Evan. Getting your stars in early.
Yeah, that's what surprised me most about guaranteeing Angela Guan out there for 8 points.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the logic behind kind of putting her out there as, I don't know, bait, to get Kazaku out against her early.
Oh,
I think it hit it short.
Yeah, it was long. Point Texas. Leverson needs this one to split. Oh, there's high tension right now.
Just battling that down the line.
just seems like every time Leverson can get one quick forehand in, his footwork, his court coverage is going to really allow him to have more position, more depth on his ball. It's an interesting matchup right here.
Jang versus Hiro Kasahara. Advantage Kasahara.
Talk about a re-loop by Hiro.
There's a chance here for Texas to really do some damage. Kasahara versus Jang, and then Abusev versus Ko.
I think for Sean, it's get a little bit more depth and more pace on the first attack.
What first attack?
I don't know. I mean, Sean tends to play all offense or nothing. Not a lot of middle ground there, and unfortunately, when they return a good return, often his return, we saw it in the doubles, he just puts it in play.
I could have put that ball away.
Settle down.
3 straight for Kasahara. And out Chicago.
We're back for the thrilling conclusion of this semifinal match in front of a sellout crowd at St. Joseph's University in Philly. Chicago and Texas going down to the wire for the right to advance to the finals.
That's a golden sweep for Hiromitsu Kasahara. And the Smash are back up by 4.
And now, Chicago. We're going to have a chopper against a hitter. Tiffany Ko likes to smash, so you'd think, okay, well, she has a chance, but she's going to have to earn her points right here. There's going to be no free points from Texas.
This is where we see whether York's intention will pay out here. Whether Abusev can sweep and kind of cancel out the effect of putting Angela Guan against Kazaku.
Tiffany Ko gets a net ball. Look, we're going to spend a lot of time analyzing the results. The fact that Chicago got nothing from Provost against Macbeth and nothing from Jang against Kasahara, that's why they're losing this right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tiffany Ko has taken the first 2, or 2 of the first 3, I should say, against Abusev.
Provost is going to have to do something better than what he did in that first series.
So it's a split. That's a win for Chicago. And now, you're right, Sean, it's up to Provost here. I mean, if he can take 3 out of 4 against Macbeth, no easy track, that would put Kazaku in position to give him the lead. There's one.
Big third ball attack. And I think Provost, when he has his back up against the wall, he knows he's got to go offense.
2 in a row for Damien on his serve. It's a 2-point game. We're playing a 21. Winner to the final, loser to the 3rd place match.
Oh, that ball clipped the net, but again, Provost, more offensive minded. Look at the focus on his face. He knows what it meant being swept in that first series to start off this match.
Macbeth avoids the sweep, but Provost does get 3 out of 4, and now Kazaku confidently strides back to the table.
Provost just fought for each and every point. Unfortunately, David Macbeth, what a great forehand.
Kazaku versus Guan.
I'm just trying to think, what can Angela change here against a player that's so good against slower defense?
If she were to hit the serve, bump it with her long pips, and just put offensive pressure, but chopping, going to be very difficult to keep the ball down. Kazaku's legs are so strong.
13 all.
I mean, if Kazaku sweeps here again, just wondering what position in the kind of second stage of the...
Angela Guan, the unfamiliar position of having to attack, and she gets 1 for Texas.
I don't know why Alex went back so easily, no pressure, and then that ball missed by a good 4 feet.
Texas back up by 1. confident swing there. Kazaku takes 3 out of 4 and 7 of the 8 over Guan. He's got half of Chicago's points so far. It's 14 all. Their days are done. If we do get to 20 all, it'll be Provost and Macbeth.
And this is exactly what the doctor ordered. You've got the two big guns right now tied up at 14 apiece.
Leverson serving to Hodai. Befuddles him with that first serve. Chicago back up by 1. A riveting golden game in the first semifinal. Oh my goodness, how did that happen? Hodai in desperate straits that whole point finds a way to win it. I'm still not sure how. It caught the edge. (15-15) in this race to 21. Into the net. Leverson in Chicago back in front.
Leverson doing a great job of nullifying the serving advantage of Hodai. Heavy side spin, just dropping it back over the net.
One more point for these two. And a missed return from Leverson. We're tied 16 all. Hodai gets another split, but that's advantage Texas because of what we've seen from Hiromitsu Kasahara earlier in this golden game. He took all 4 points against Jang.
Don't know if I've ever seen Sean look so nervous in my life.
Absolutely. Before this, he was pacing, walking in circles.
And he went for it and he got one.
If he can get his first loop in, it was a little bit, you could see tight. Here's the forehand. But he did get the shoulder turn and the swing.
If he's in a position to unleash on that forehand.
That's 2 in a row for Jang.
Hear him right now. He is roaring.
Amir Hodai literally just walked through the curtain and back. I don't think he can handle watching anymore.
Kasahara counters.
What a big step around by Hiro. That was off of a great backhand flip.
Final point here for Kasahara and Jang. Texas trailing by 1. It's tied 18 all. Now Abusev versus Ka with the golden game on the line.
And they split last time. Tiffany has got to try and land at least 2 points here.
He needs 2 points to give Provost a chance. Into the net.
That's an extremely risky decision.
Abusev in Texas up 19-18.
Look for Abusev to do a little offensive replacement out to the forehand side.
Into the net again. And it's match point for the Texas Smash to return to the championship game for the 2nd year in a row. Artur Abusev smashes Texas back to the finals. They take it 21-18. And we'll see York Pizzigayo smash tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern to battle for the MLTT Cup. Try to retain it.
Texas earns its shot at a dynasty after another adrenaline-fueled showcase of Major League Table Tennis. Learn more about MLTT, including our plans for Season 3, by visiting MLTT.com and by following the league on social media. For our entire crew and my broadcast partners Matt Hetherington and Sean O'Neill, I'm Evan Lepler. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the table again soon.